Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the best mods of the week in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager. We got a lot of stuff to cover this week, including teddy bear backpacks, an amazing new dye mod unlike any other. We also have the Savant non-magical genius here by the Wailing Bard, the Dark Ranger, which is a full class mod, book club with Gale, let her speak, letting Shadowheart talk a lot more, Corvid Spells, and much more. So first things first, I think I want to start off with just the class mods here. The Savant is really interesting. This class mod by the Wailing Bard fills a support role, and it's great for those that want to play someone that's smart. Now, you got different scholarly pursuits here, like the Quick Study giving you proficiency in a select skill, or instruction here, which allows you to teach a skill that you currently know to a team member, or teach them a weapon proficiency, which I actually think is a really interesting way to play through the game, and it's balanced. This class is built around using reactions, but you also get some ability to set up your teammates with the Expose Weakness here, or the Sharp Mind when using a bonus action, which can set up either advantage for their next attack roll, or you apply advantage for, the future whenever they're attacking your focus. Now, this class comes full of 6 different subclasses here between the Investigator, the Mentor, the Orator, the Philosopher, the Tactician, and the Virtuoso. So yeah, it's got a lot of flavor to it. I will cover this in a future build guide because I don't want to take up too much time, which is a single class mod. There's a lot of levels to this. The Wailing Bard has just made another incredible class mod here, and this one is adapted from Laser Llama's homebrew. So yeah, they do a great job with their mods. Now, we also got the Dark Ranger or Necro Ranger here by Hayter, and this is kind of based on the class from World of Warcraft, but not fully. Now, what this class brings is 4 different subclasses to the game, and it's a fun, stealthy kind of ranger. So you got the Cloakwood Warden here, giving yourself a companion, the Death Master is kind of similar to the Hunter, the Death Stalker, similar to the Gloom Stalker, and then the Wraith Touched here, which gives you advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and a Wraith Step. So this is another really well done class mod that comes with a bunch of different abilities. There was a class that released right around the time that the console mod manager dropped where it was somewhat of a Dark Ranger, and I had a lot of fun with it but got removed. So I found this one to be a nice change because just if you're looking for a new Ranger that feels fun to play, the Ranger's on the weaker side of things, but this mod helps to correct that. Also fun on teams that are built around necrotic damage. You use the markup Putrefaction here, which allows you to apply a weakness or vulnerability to necrotic damage, so targets will take twice necrotic damage. And there's no real spells that are super high in damage anyways for necrotic-based spells, so I think it works pretty well. And next up is a mod for everyone's favorite wizard, and he especially loves his books, and that is the Book Club with Gale mod here by Hyperspace Towel. I do enjoy our conversations. What do you need? This adds 50 new dialogue reactions whenever Gale gets, or whenever you sit down beside Gale. There's different ones depending on where you are in his romance, or if you are romanced by him, but you can see all the different ones here. Don't want to spoil it in case you're curious to see them all for yourself, but yeah, that is Book Club with Gale. Now, Hyperspace Towel has made some other ones like Minthar's Poison Kiss, A Sit with Astarion, Mist Connection, Shadowheart. So if you like mods like this, they do have some other ones similar that I've covered in previous videos. Next up, we got kind of a similar vein, Let Her Speak by I Am Your Dad. So this mod lets Shadowheart speak. If she's in your party, whenever the game needs a companion to make a remark, it'll always pick her. So I'm not sure if you've noticed, especially if you're using larger party size mods, it always makes it someone random that chimes up sometimes when you need to say something, when a character needs to say something. And this makes it so Shadowheart will do that more often. I think that's a really cool mod. Next up is the Corvid Spells by Sanark Cranius. Now, this adds 6 new spells for bards, sorcerers, warlocks, wizards, eldritch knights, arcane tricksters, and the magic initiative feats. And some modded warlock patrons not be able to access these spells due to the limitations, but they're decently balanced, I would say. This is great for those that are like fans of the Raven Queen. So you get the Phantasmal Ravens here, level 1 illusionary spell. Does 2 ravens that do 1d4 of psychic damage on attacks. You also got the Phantasmal Feathers, conjure a widespread volley of illusionary feathers, doing a 3d6 of damage. There's the Shadowfell Feathers, doing a 3d6 plus 3 necrotic damage, where you shoot 3 different feathers out. The Corvid Cloud, surrounded by the magical ravens, you teleport to an unoccupied space within 6 meters as a bonus action and a spell slot. And then there's also the Wings of Fear, doing a 3d6 of psychic damage, deal damage, and possibly frighten enemies. So yeah, that's the Corvid Spells. I'll likely be covering this because I'm going to be doing a spells mod video here soon. So I'll break this down in a little bit further detail. But I think this is just awesome for those that want something a little bit new for spell casting. This is exciting. I know there's a few console mod viewers here. This is the ASE Ogres featuring DunHozzie. So ASE and DunHozzie did a little bit of a collab here. He's the creator of the Ogre Race mod on the original, Ogre Race mod, and ASE collaborated with him to make a a possible version of this that could potentially come to console. We'll have to wait and see how this goes. I know there's been people asking for the ogres, so if you're going to do a Shrek style playthrough, now you can. So yeah, hopefully we'll see this come to console in the future. Now this is nice. Alert feat 5e raw. This changes the alert feat a little bit to make it more like how it is in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Not a major change. All it does is makes it so basically if you get blinded yourself, the enemy doesn't get advantage on attack rolls. You get your daredevil sense to kind of avoid attacks, move out of the way. So attack rolls will no longer have advantage against you if you're blind. I typically like to run full anti-blindness teams, so yeah, this is great for those that want something a little bit more based on 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. This mod was made by Chiz Freak. They're always putting out awesome mods. And next up, we got the Enable Honor rule set. I think this mod is really great by Giacoggiac. So basically what this allows you to do is choose the Honor rule set when creating a new game. With this mod, you can choose Honor mode whenever you want, regardless of your current difficulty setting. I think this is great because the Honor rule set is really fun. And this, hey, if you haven't tried Honor mode out, this is probably the best way to dip your toes into it because you can play with your old rule set, but it gives the bosses their legendary actions, which I think are really cool because this changes how a lot of the boss fights in the game operate. So if you haven't tried Honor mode, this would be a good way to kind of dip your toes in, get a feel for how it is. Really highly recommend this. Now, I was actually going to mention that at the start of the video, and I completely forgot, this was the most downloaded mod last week. Shadowheart's Ponytail hairstyle mod by a fan. This just changes Shadowheart's hair to give her a bit longer, kind of similar to one of the character models' hairs that you can get in this game. I think it looks great, but this was the most downloaded mod last week. People like the Shadowheart mods, I guess. I think this is nice. I think it actually suits her, and it makes her look a little bit younger. Shadowheart is like 48 or something, and this makes her look like she's like 28. So yeah, I think that's cool for those that want something a little bit different for Shadowheart. Next up, Gnome More Clipping. This is great. Love a good gnome pun, like the devil you may gnome. But this one by Kelosina here fixes it because, you know, the hair on certain models would go through the gnome cheeks. This corrects it so that they no longer clip. So you can see here, chunking right through the face, it's fixed. Same here with this hairstyle. This is actually cool. This hairstyle here is from the Demon K-Pop Hunters TV show mod. I've covered it in a previous Best Mods of the Week video, but it corrects a lot of these here that would typically get kind of clipped into the character's face. So nice small change. I think it's cool. Next up is Pathfinder 2nd Edition Spell Expansions by Miles of Fish. So this mod, it actually is, it has 3 dependencies. You have to have Pathfinder 2nd Edition Animation Unlocker and Pathfinder 2 2nd Edition Runes. This is based on Pathfinder. I just wanted to cover this because I know there's some people out there that really enjoy Pathfinder. And hey, if you don't know what Pathfinder is, this could be a cool introduction to getting into it. This mod contains a variety of spells for all traditions and spell ranks. It eventually be a requirement for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition wands and spell or staff mod, which is one that I covered previously. So it gives us a new cantrip, Spout, Stabilize, spell, Sure Strike, Conductive Weapon, Sound Body, Oaken Resilience, Levitate, Fire Shield, Tortoise in the Air, Planar Tether, Moon Frenzy, Collect Transposition. I want to do a future video on the Pathfinder mods potentially, so yeah, maybe stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that, by the way. Next up, TEDDYPACK for Plushy Friends by Cloudy. Now, you may have seen this at the start of the video. I think this looks awesome. I also have Guts Greatsword in my backpack, but there's 2 different backpacks that you get here. I have the big one on my character here, and Shadowheart has a little one on her character. It's a little bit smaller of a bag. But yeah, this basically does exactly what you see here. It gives you this nice bag. So you get a little teddy bear. If you're running around, you can always see that teddy bear. I think it's cute. Mods, this is exactly what modding is all about. I love mods like this. They're so small, but hey, it's nice to see something like this when you're playing through the game. So just gotta highlight that there. Constant Wild Magic by Synthic BG3. Gives all creatures a permanent wild magic passive. Each creature that takes an action or similar, there will be a wild magic surge. This is limited to 1 surge per creature per turn of combat. Wild magic will still surge outside of combat. This is chaotic, extremely chaotic. Just want to put that out there. I love the honor mode, or I love the wild magic sorcerer, but it's just so chaotic. This makes it even more chaotic. Maybe I'll do a playthrough like this someday. I think that'd be fun. Final Fantasy 14 or Fantastic Four 14, Paladin FFXIV, new class. This is a paladin that I think it's powerful but not brokenly unbalanced, and is based on like the Final Fantasy 14 paladin. So you might break your oath if you do something not decently. This is a really cool one. So you get some different progressions here. I love what the mod author Jiuan Jiu Ye Ayan has done with this mod. So different progressions here are listed out clearly. So you get like the taunt attack similar to the Paladin. You get Rampart, Royal Authority, Holy Spirit, Sheltron, Shield Shove, Clemency, Requisticat. Really well done here because it's using all of Baldur's Gate 3 assets to recreate a class mod from another game altogether. I think they did a great job with this, and it's a really fun, well done class mod. It also gives you level 20 progression if you wanted to. It'll just give you upwards of an additional lay hands and channel oath charges. But wow, this is a great one. I really like that AoE, or you get a big attack that can silence enemies in a 4-meter line. That's really fun at level 10. And next up, we got, this is an addition to a mod. I just want to kind of shout out the Red Witch mod because I love it. This is the Red Witch add-on extra feats. I've had a lot of comments actually asking about a mod like this, so I just wanted to highlight this. I love the Red Witch mod. I did a build guide on it talking about that. Mixed with the Dawnstar's Telekinetic Spells mod, it makes for a real Scarlet Witch feeling playthrough. Whole lot of fun. Next up, this is cool. I mentioned this before. I like weapon mods that are, you know, a little bit strong, but it feels like you're like role playing with a very powerful weapon. And this is Legionbreaker, a blade that thrives on war by Alohere here. So what this mod does, it gives you a weapon that every time you take out an enemy or get a critical hit, you can do a cleave attack for free. It gives you the Roar of the Legion, additional fire damage. And it's got this look here. It's just like a fiery sword, kind of similar to the Everburn blade. But again, another weapon that I think is fun, especially if you wanted to go through and use something like this, maybe on Tactician Enhanced. This mod made me laugh by Necro. They've always been putting out really great mods. And this is Cazadraws his eyebrows on. No eyebrows, Cazador. Someone posted that their wife wanted to see a mod where Cazador had no eyebrows, and thus this mod was born. So exactly what you see here. This is just haunting. Removes Cazador's eyebrows. Kind of similar to the mod that turns Gortash into Guy Fieri. There's a lot of really funny mods out there. Necro did a great job with this one. And speaking of stylish, this is Style and Die by Freya. Now, what I was mentioning at the start of this video about revolutionary, so you can see on my character here, I got like this rose gold pattern. It gives you at 77 different dyes. Technically, there's 15 dyes, and each of them has 5 different appearances. So let's say we wanted to go with the Sunkissed Bronze, Sunkissed Silver, Sunkissed Gold, Iron. You get to choose between 5 different metal colors. So I'm even using just an armor mod here. This is going to change the fabric color, and then it makes that gold. I use the gold one there. Let's go with the iron, which will change the color of that there, and the metal. You'll see the metal pieces change. Now, what's cool is my test for these is if it works on the armor persistence and does a good job with it, and I can confirm that it does. So this is the rose gold with one of the red ones. I think the rose gold looks actually really nice on this armor set, and it works very well with even things like the armor of agility, which is another outfit that I like to pair these with just to see how they work. So I guess we'll use the iron and the blue one here. It's going to give the dark, it's like a darker, yeah, you can see that there. Really nice dye mod, and I think it works great with all the base game dyes as well as dye or armor that you add in from different mods. So I'm Freya, Style and Die. 2 big thumbs up from me. It also comes with dye remover, which I always appreciate. And finally, we got the Klara weapon earrings for character creation by Klara from Earth. This gives some really nice looking, it's basically mini weapons, like you see the Crimson Mischief there, the sickle. Yeah, it turns some of these weapons into like miniature versions. There's the cold daggers. Yeah, I think it's really cool. So cold dagger right there, perfect. That's even what I just called it. The flail, the fire dagger. Yeah, these are awesome. If you're into piercing mods, it's really cool. So yeah, those are the best mods of the week in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. Got a few different class mods, some spell mods. I love this dye mod, the teddy bear backpack. Lots of great things this week. Let me know your favorites in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.